Thank you for checking in again with Cherry Fieger and Cherry. At Cherry Fieger and Cherry, we've handled thousands of workers' compensation claims over the year, positively affecting many lives. One of the next questions I often receive is, what does the process of filing workers' compensation entail? First thing we do is get all the information about your claim, how you were injured, when you were injured, and what your injuries are, and what your disability is related to your work. We then file an electronic claim with Harrisburg. It goes to the Department of Labor and the Bureau of Workers' Compensation. And the Bureau of Workers' Compensation will then assign your case to a judge in a county in which you reside, if you reside in Pennsylvania. If not, it'll go to a county in which your employer has their place of business. The next thing that occurs is the Bureau of Workers' Compensation will issue a notice of assignment assigning your matter to a judge in the appropriate county. After that, the judge in that is handling the case will set a hearing notice, send out a hearing notice and date of when your matter will first be heard. Many times, a lot of judges don't want the claimant, you're the injured worker, the claimant at the first hearing. Some judges do want you there. Each judge runs their case docket a little bit differently, and your workers' compensation attorney will know what the judge expects at the first hearing. If you're at the first hearing, you're going to be testifying as to what happened, when it happened, and what's been going on as far as treatment. If you're not required at the first hearing, the judge will simply have a 2 or 3 minute hearing setting forth a timeline on what he or she expects to be done at what period of session. From start to finish, you could be looking at anywhere from 6 months to a year or a year and a half. Making sure that you explain the timeline and making your client understand that this can be a long drawn out process is, I find, very important, because if you don't manage your client's expectations and let them understand about how long this can take, you're usually going to end up with a very disappointed client. Injured workers are out of work, they're in pain, they're hurting, they have bills to pay, rent, mortgages, food to put on the table, and not providing them the proper information up front and letting them understand that this can be a long drawn out process is not helping them manage their own lives. And I often receive phone calls from disgruntled injured workers from other attorneys, and oftentimes I find out that the other attorney is actually doing a very good job. He just hasn't properly explained to him the procedure. Educating your client up front about the process and how long it's going to take goes a long way to making putting your client at ease, at least giving them proper mindset so that they can properly plan their lives, whether it's they need to go into debt to pay bills or borrow money from friends. But I think that's really important information I found over the years to provide your client.